When we hold an image in our mind of how life should be, we may feel a sense of control. It can feel safe, like a map that shows every turn before we walk the road. But life is not a road we can fully plan. It bends, it changes, and sometimes it leads us to places we never imagined. If we expect life to follow our map exactly, we may feel lost when it does not. Loosening our expectations is not the same as giving up. It is more like loosening a knot in a rope. When the knot is tight, the rope cannot move. It is stiff, unable to adapt. But when the knot is loosened, the rope becomes free. It can bend, stretch, and follow new directions without breaking. This gentle power allows us to meet each moment as it is. We still have wishes, hopes, and plans, but we hold them with an open hand. We let them breathe. When something comes that we did not expect, we are less likely to push it away or fight against it. Instead, we can welcome it as part of the journey. A life lived with softened expectations is lighter. It carries less tension in the heart. We can appreciate what actually happens, rather than feeling sorrow for what did not. The world begins to feel less like a test we must pass, and more like a story we are discovering page by page. When we let go of the need to shape every detail, we may find a quiet strength. It is the strength of water flowing around stones, finding its way without force. This strength is gentle, but it carries us far. We all carry hopes. They may be about our work, our family, our health, or our future. Hopes can give us direction, like a lighthouse guiding a ship in the night. But when hope turns rigid, it changes shape. It stops being a light and starts becoming a rule. It tells us, things must happen this way, or I cannot be content. Rigid hopes can create a hidden pressure inside us. Even when we do not speak it aloud, we feel it. We begin to measure each day by how close it comes to our fixed picture. If events do not match that picture, we may feel disappointment or even anger, though we might not show it. This silent frustration slowly builds. It can make the heart feel heavy, even when nothing bad has happened. Life is rarely as tidy as we wish. People act in ways we do not expect. Circumstances change without warning. When our hopes are too stiff, each of these changes feels like a personal loss. It is as if life is taking something from us, even when it is simply moving in its natural way. If we learn to make our hopes softer, they can bend without breaking. We can still aim toward what we value, but we are not crushed if the road takes a different turn. This flexibility frees us from the quiet suffering that rigid hope creates. When we stop demanding that the world meet our exact picture, we can notice other gifts along the way. Often, these gifts are ones we never thought to ask for, but they fit perfectly into the life we are living now. A dream is like a soft light in the distance. It inspires us, gives us energy, and invites us to take steps forward. A demand, on the other hand, is a rule we create for life. It says, this must happen, and it must happen in the way I imagine. While a dream opens the heart, a demand often closes it. Dreams allow room for change. We can walk toward them while enjoying the scenery along the way. If the path shifts, the dream can shift too, adapting to new possibilities. Demands are different. They lock our attention on one outcome, so we may miss other paths that could also bring meaning and joy. When we turn a dream into a demand, we may think we are simply being determined. But determination without openness can trap us. We may start to feel that anything less than our exact vision is failure. This can lead to disappointment, even if we have already achieved many good things. The gentle art is to keep our dreams alive while letting go of the tight grip of demand. We can say to ourselves, this is the direction I would like to go, instead of, this is the only way my life can be good. This small shift in language changes how we experience each day. When dreams stay soft, they continue to guide us without becoming chains. They help us move forward with hope, but also with acceptance for what arrives. In this space, we find that life can offer us more than we planned, and sometimes those unplanned gifts are the most precious of all. Uncertainty is part of every life. We may plan carefully, but the truth is that we never know exactly what tomorrow will bring. This truth can feel frightening if we try to control every detail, but if we learn to live with it, uncertainty can become a quiet teacher. When life feels unsure, our first reaction is often to tighten up. We think that if we hold on harder, we will be safe. Yet just like a hand gripping too tightly, this tension makes it harder to move, harder to see clearly, and harder to adapt. Instead, imagine meeting uncertainty the way you would meet an old friend. You do not know what story they will tell you today, but you welcome them into your home. You sit, you listen, and you let the conversation take its own shape. In the same way, we can learn to meet the unknown with a calm and open mind. Breathing, in its simplest form, reminds us of this truth. Each breath is a small act of trust. We release the air without knowing exactly when the next one will arrive, yet it always does. In the same way, we can release our need to know every outcome before it happens. Life's uncertainty is not an enemy. It is the space where new experiences are born. When we soften around it, we create room for surprise, growth, and change. This does not remove all fear, but it allows fear to sit beside curiosity, and together they can lead us toward a richer way of living. Many of us imagine a future and then wait for it to arrive. We picture certain events, achievements, or relationships that will finally make us happy. But life often delivers something different. Sometimes it gives us less than we hope for, sometimes more, and sometimes simply something else. If we spend all our energy wishing for the picture in our minds, we may miss the reality in front of us. It is like standing at a train station, looking only for the train we plan to take, while many other trains come and go. Some of those trains might lead to places we would love, but we never step aboard because they do not match our ticket. Finding peace in what actually arrives means welcoming the moment as it is. This does not mean we stop dreaming or caring about the future. It means that when life offers us something unexpected, we give it a fair chance. We look at it closely before we decide whether it is a gift or a challenge, or maybe both. Often, the things that come unplanned carry their own beauty. A conversation we never expected to have, a small act of kindness from a stranger, or even a setback that later opens a new path. These can all be parts of the life we truly need, even if they were not part of the life we imagined. Peace grows when we stop fighting the present moment. By choosing to see value in what is here now, we free ourselves from the constant struggle between what is and what should be. In that freedom, we may find that life has already brought us more than we knew to ask for. Sometimes we do not realize that we are holding on too tightly until something breaks. We might think we are simply caring, being responsible, or working hard. But there are signs that our grip has become too firm, and learning to notice them early can save us from unnecessary stress. One sign is constant tension in the body. If your shoulders are always tight, your jaw clenched, or your stomach uneasy, it may be that you are carrying more than you need. Another sign is repeated frustration when things do not go exactly as planned. Even small changes or delays can feel like major problems when our expectations are too rigid. We might also notice it in our relationships. If we often feel disappointed in others for not acting as we hoped, it may be because we are holding them to a fixed picture in our mind. This can create distance and misunderstanding, even with people we care about deeply. Noticing these patterns is the first step to softening them. It helps to pause and ask ourselves, am I trying to control something that does not need my control right now? This simple question can open a door to release. When we loosen our grip, we allow life and people to move more naturally. We may still care deeply about the outcome, but we stop forcing it to match one exact idea. In this space, we can respond to life with more patience and clarity, and often, we discover that less force leads to better results. It is easy to carry pictures in our mind of how people should act. We may expect friends to always understand our feelings, family to share our values, or co-workers to think the way we do. These expectations can seem harmless, but they often create invisible walls between us. When someone does not match our picture, we might feel hurt, confused, or even betrayed. We may start to judge them based on the gap between who they are and who we thought they would be. Over time, this can make our relationships heavier and less joyful. Accepting people without the weight of assumptions means meeting them as they are in this moment. It means noticing their words and actions without comparing them to an ideal version in our mind. This does not mean we must agree with everything they say or do. It simply means allowing them the space to be themselves. When we drop assumptions, we create room for genuine connection. We may discover qualities in others that we never expected: kindness hidden under quietness, strength behind a gentle voice, or wisdom in someone younger than us. These discoveries become possible only when we are open to seeing the real person. This openness also frees us from constant disappointment. Instead of feeling let down when people act differently, we can appreciate them for the unique ways they contribute to our life. By releasing the weight of assumptions, relationships can feel lighter, warmer, and more real. In this way, we learn that acceptance is not about lowering our standards. It is about widening our vision to include the truth of who people already are. Many of us try to avoid surprises because we think they will disrupt our plans. We feel safer when we can predict what will happen next. But in doing so, we often close the door to experiences that could bring joy, learning, or even a better path than we imagined. Allowing life to surprise us is like walking through a garden without a set route. We may have a favorite flower in mind, but as we wander, we notice other colors, scents, and shapes we did not expect. The beauty is richer because it is not limited to our plan. Surprises are not always pleasant at first. Sometimes they arrive as changes we did not want: losing a job, moving to a new place, or meeting people who challenge us. Yet many times, these moments contain hidden opportunities. With time, they can lead us toward growth, new skills, or deeper understanding. When we let go of the need to control every detail, we give life permission to bring us these unexpected gifts. We can approach each day with curiosity, asking, "I wonder what this day will bring," rather than, "I hope this day matches my list." This freedom does not mean we live without direction. We still have values, goals, and dreams. But we hold them loosely, leaving space for life to add its own ideas. Often, the surprises we allow become the stories we tell with the most warmth, because they remind us that the world can be bigger and kinder than our plans alone. Relationships can bring deep joy, but they can also carry quiet tension when our expectations are too firm. We might believe that someone should always understand us, agree with us, or meet our needs in a certain way. These beliefs can slowly turn into unspoken rules, and when those rules are broken, we feel hurt or distant. Softening expectations in relationships does not mean caring less. It means allowing room for the other person to be themselves with their own thoughts, moods, and choices. It means accepting that even those we love deeply will sometimes disappoint us, not because they do not care, but because they are human. When we release rigid expectations, we begin to listen more openly. We stop waiting for the exact response we hope for, and instead, we hear what is truly being said. This openness can turn small misunderstandings into opportunities to learn more about each other. It also helps us appreciate the ways people show care that may be different from our own. One person may express love through words, another through actions, and another simply by being present. When our expectations are softer, we can see and value all of these forms. A relationship built on flexibility is lighter. It can bend without breaking when challenges arise. By choosing to meet others with openness rather than rigid demands, we create space for trust and kindness to grow naturally. In this way, softening expectations is not the end of closeness. It is the beginning of a connection that can last through both calm and storm. Change arrives in every life, whether we invite it or not. Sometimes it comes gently, like the slow turning of seasons. Other times, it arrives suddenly, like a storm that reshapes the shore overnight. Our response to change often decides whether it becomes a source of growth or a weight we carry with resistance. When we meet change with a closed fist, clinging tightly to what we know, we often feel pain. The harder we hold on, the more difficult it is to adjust. It is like trying to hold water in our hands by squeezing it. The more pressure we apply, the faster it slips away. Meeting change with an open hand is different. It means we acknowledge what is leaving, but we also make space for what is arriving. We may still feel sadness for what is gone, but we are not trapped in it. Our open hand can receive new experiences, new lessons, and even new joys that we could not have imagined before. This approach requires trust, not blind trust that everything will be easy, but trust that we can adapt and find our way forward. It is a quiet confidence in our own ability to live fully, even when the landscape changes. By holding life more lightly, we move with it rather than against it. Change becomes less of a battle and more of a dance. In this way, our open hand does not just accept change, it learns from it, grows with it, and allows it to shape us into someone who can live with both strength and gentleness. In daily life, small disappointments are unavoidable. A plan is cancelled, the weather changes, someone forgets to call, or a small task takes longer than we hoped. These moments may seem minor, yet they can easily add up, creating a quiet layer of frustration that follows us through the day. Often, we hold on to these small disappointments more tightly than we realize. We replay them in our mind, adding more weight to them than they deserve. It is like carrying a tiny stone in our shoe. The longer we keep walking with it, the more it irritates us. Letting small disappointments pass through us is a skill we can practice. It begins with noticing when we are holding on to them. We can ask ourselves, will this matter to me next week, next year? If the answer is no, we can allow ourselves to set it down now. This does not mean pretending the feeling is not there. We can acknowledge the moment of irritation, take a breath, and then imagine it flowing out of us, leaving us lighter. Over time, this practice helps us respond to small setbacks with more calm and less tension. When we allow these small disappointments to pass through us, we protect our energy for the things that truly matter. Our days feel clearer, our minds less crowded, and our hearts more open to the good that is still present. In this way, each small release becomes a quiet act of strength, a choice to keep walking without the stone in our shoe. Gratitude is often thought of as a simple list of things we are thankful for. But true gratitude is more than that. It is a way of seeing life. When our gratitude is flexible, it is not limited to the moments that match our plans. It can bend and adapt, finding value even when life looks different from what we expected. Rigid gratitude works only when things go well. If our happiness depends on everything fitting our exact picture, it will quickly fade when change arrives. Flexible gratitude, however, looks for meaning in whatever is present. It asks, "What can I appreciate here, even in difficulty or uncertainty?" This kind of gratitude does not ignore pain or pretend that challenges are easy. Instead, it allows both difficulty and appreciation to exist together. We can feel sadness for what we have lost, while also seeing the small gifts that remain: a kind word, a quiet morning, or the strength we discover within ourselves. Over time, flexible gratitude changes how we move through the world. We stop waiting for perfect conditions before we feel thankful. Each day becomes an opportunity to notice something good, even if it is small. This creates a steady warmth in life, one that is not shaken every time the wind changes. By building a life of flexible gratitude, we give ourselves a constant source of strength. It is not dependent on control, and it cannot be taken away by sudden change. Instead, it grows quietly, making even ordinary moments feel rich and worth cherishing. The word "should" can be heavy. We use it often in our thoughts. I should be more successful by now. They should understand me. Life should be easier. These statements may seem harmless, but they create an invisible weight that we carry every day. When we live under the burden of should, we are constantly measuring life against an invisible standard. This standard is often built from comparisons, old beliefs, or ideas we have never questioned. The more we compare reality to this standard, the more we feel that something is missing. Walking lightly without should begins with noticing when we use it. We can ask ourselves, is this thought helping me, or is it closing me off from what is here? Many times, should is not a guide. It is a barrier. It keeps us from accepting what is real and from moving forward with clarity. When we release should, we are not giving up on growth or change. We are simply choosing to work with life as it is, rather than against it. This lighter way of walking allows us to see possibilities that were hidden when we were focused on how things were supposed to be. Without the weight of should, our steps feel easier. We meet ourselves and others with more kindness. We begin to see that life is not failing us. It is unfolding in its own way, offering us moments to live fully right now. In this way, walking lightly is not about doing less. It is about carrying less. And in carrying less, we find we can move farther, with more peace in our heart. A softer way to live is not a weaker way. It is a path that allows us to move with life instead of against it. By loosening our grip on expectations, we open the door to moments of peace that might otherwise pass unnoticed. We learn to meet change with openness, to accept people as they are, and to find value in what actually arrives. This way of living asks us to trust that life is not only about reaching a destination, but also about walking the road with awareness. We begin to see beauty in the ordinary, lessons in the unexpected, and strength in gentleness. Over time, this approach lightens the heart. We carry fewer burdens made of should, fewer disappointments born from rigid hopes, and more quiet appreciation for the way life unfolds. In choosing this softer way, we do not stop dreaming or caring about what matters to us. Instead, we give our dreams space to grow in many directions, and we remain open to surprises that may lead us somewhere even better. To everyone who has supported this journey, by watching, liking, subscribing, sharing thoughts in the comments, sending super thanks, or becoming a channel member, please know that your kindness and encouragement mean a great deal. Your presence here is a gift, and it is deeply appreciated. May you continue to walk gently through each day, meeting life as it is, and finding within it moments that make your heart feel light.